Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. And let's continue with this gap meaning, 尖. Now, we add bamboo to the top of it. That make it brief. How could that be? It's totally explainable because it's historically evidenced, supported, that we have this gap, right? Moonlight shining through the two panel doors. And then we have a bamboo. Of all the plants symbol in Chinese, it's like this upward turning leaves because these leaves are sun facing. Every leaf is trying to reach up toward the sun. Only the bamboo leaves, they're draping down. Probably because bamboo leaves are they're drapey. They are long strips of leaves that's too heavy to hold up, turning upward like that. Not like pine needles, right? Bamboo leaves are drapey. So that feature was captured here. And also bamboo is the most readily available resources in ancient times. And that was the ancient world building block, houses, furniture, utensils. Here is writing medium before the invention of paper by China. I mean, not China, Chinese people, ancient times, the Cai Lun. Okay, that's particular dude that came up with the, Cai Lun 是印刷术. Okay, forget about it. I need to refresh my history, but it was one of the four inventions in China that, according to his history book, Chinese version, of course. So this, before paper, messages were recorded on narrow strips of bamboo. And the way to carry it by roll it up, kind of like your sushi mat. That tiny strips of sushi mat is too narrow of this bamboo strip. Here, for enough space for one single character to write enough space on the strip, and then it's written up, down, and you read it up, down. So your eye flow would go up, down. So this is the way of reading instead of left, right, as contemporary book form. So ancient bamboo strips, as you can see, is quite some craftsmanship to make that form. So the cost of putting characters on it is way more expensive. And to erase it, it was not like white out, or even on the keyboard, you just backspace and then it's done. No, ancient times, to erase something written on a bamboo strip, you have to carve it out with your knife. So either the whole material is expensive, the way to add or remove expensive, so you really have to be careful what you put in there. And that physical constraint made the ancient people express themselves super succinctly, brief. I wish can be more succinct. Okay, that's my dream. But ancient times, because of the form factors constraint, simply message communication on a written form is expensive way. So people formed the habit of putting message in a very to the point way, get rid of all the language paddings. Like in English, we have many, 25% are facilitating the message to pad it up to make the language flow. But ancient Chinese don't get rid of all of that. Just come straight to the point. All right, so that's jiǎn, the ancient bamboo strip that got gaps in between the strips, right? And because of that, we have to use the message very brief. Just compare it to, I guess, telegraph. When we used to send telegraph, really have to think of what words you put in there because each one cost you. Okay, 简札 are two forms of letters in ancient times. jiǎn, we know a roll up, and there was ways to bundle it, to tag it. Something also called a jiǎn, put it in front of it, kind of like a header, to the address of somebody, and then a clay put on there with string, right? And then the clay got, I think, somebody's signet. Bam! Then form a permanent form. If somebody open it, the clay is broken. Then you know the message was tempered. So that's the way of keeping it enclosed. Versus jiǎ is a piece of wood that got incision, something carved in. So the way jiǎ works is a smaller message. So instead of having strips, this is longer form of letter. jiǎ is like a quick note, short note to somebody that's written on a kind of a square piece of, almost like a poster card, contemporary form comparison. And then the two, one side with a message and the other one is blank, combined together with some carving in channels, grooves. And so they fit together, and again, tie, clay, secure. That's the two forms of letter. And you can see it's quite expensive, right? The postman ancient times have to carry a heavier, way heavier load. And I would imagine only people of certain social status that can afford such a message sending. 言简意赅. Here we have 言, words, 意, intention or meaning. 简, brief. Make your words brief. And 意, your meaning. 赅, so what 赅is? Does the 简 and the 赅 the same thing? Like make both your words succinct and your meaning succinct? Well, that 赅 is not succinct. 赅 means cover all grounds. So there is a tension, almost like a trade-off. I forgot what's the mathematical function of this, but you try to min-max, I don't know, that you try to minimize your words, but maximize the meaning. So in other words, that means you max out the message to you. Okay, information, I think is the density of information that you use the least amount of words to convey the max amount of meaning. And the 赅 means this completeness, because this hai on the right side is the 12th symbol of our zodiac sign. So I believe it's hai zhu, so it's pig. So we have an animal to pair with it, and we also have a Chinese character to pair with the 12th sequence. And by the 12th, that's the end of it. So that means the whole 12 included. The left side, bei, is cowrie shells, ancient currency. So it's related to money. So make sure you have the full amount of money included, something like that. Here we transfer that transactional completeness to meaning, transferring meaning to make it complete. So that is, I would say, such a high call, high order, that you have to use the least amount of words to describe the max amount of meaning, which I don't feel like I'm good at yet. Okay, 减法, that's a Chinese way to translate deduction. I'm pretty sure ancient Chinese math will have deduction. And 减, because we have to, imagine, put on that bamboo strip, right? You have to think which characters to remove. Deduce. And then 法, the method. So method to deduce is our deduction. 减. Thank you for your time. See you another day.